God gave me this platform.
I want to talk to Mike Lindell.
I already know I'm going to win. China did our vote.
No, they're not lumpy pillows.
Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign. Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence.
You're an asshole.
This was attacked.
Asshole.
MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell was handed yet another loss by the U.S. Supreme Court, who refused to answer the lumpy pillow man's call to return his phone. The phone that was taken by the FBI at a Hardee's drive-thru in Minnesota. In a Monday's orders list, Lindell's case was listed among numerous case denials. The High Court also denied without comment. So they took a look at it and were like, nope, not interested. Now, on February 26th, Lindell had filed a complaint that the government had retaliated against him in a disturbing fashion just for questioning the integrity of computerized voting systems, particularly those used in the 2020 election. Which, by the way, we didn't have a problem with. It hasn't been any evidence that these computerized voting systems were tampered with, right? Especially by a foreign power or anything like that. So, nonetheless, you know that the Pillow Man has been on this crusade to go after the machines, like he thinks he's like the modern day John Connor, all right? I gotta fight the machines, gotta fight the machines. But wait a minute, the machines didn't actually do anything wrong. I'm not saying that there aren't potential vulnerabilities inside of election systems, but that's true with any computerized system. There can be vulnerabilities, right? There can be vulnerabilities that could potentially be exploited. However, there was just absolutely no evidence that this had happened in the 2020 election. And besides, that's not why they took his phone. Okay, so now, before I get to that, the SCOTUS petition was on appeal from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit, whose judges were all appointed by Republican presidents, by the way. They concluded that Lindell, given his overbroad request, was neither entitled to an injunction blocking the government from accessing his data, nor to the return of his phone. So, hey, he's going to have to get a new phone, if he hasn't already. Lindell's motion for injunctive relief is a request for the ultimate relief he seeks. While he has at times attempted to assert otherwise, Lindell's objective in this action is apparent. This litigation is a tactic to, at a minimum, interfere with, and at most enjoin a criminal investigation and ultimately hamper any potential federal prosecution related to his or others' involvement in the public disclosure of forensic images of Mesa County's election management servers, the ruling said. Affording such relief is not only contrary to the purpose of a preliminary injunction, but would open the door to a deluge of similar litigation by those under criminal investigation. This type of ultimate relief request is fatal to Lindell's preliminary injunction application. So, there it is. That is the ruling that the Supreme Court left completely untouched. Sad day for you, Mr. Pillowman. So, now, the FBI, and this is what's important, right? The FBI had a warrant on the phone because they believed it may contain information that is relevant to a federal investigation. It is not the target, rather the subject of an investigation. In fact, the government revealed in court filings that Lindell, indicted former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters, and others were subjects of the federal probe. According to a report from USA Today, the 2022 phone seizure was related to an investigation into the sharing of sensitive information from Colorado's computerized voting systems. So get this, in order to attempt to prove voter fraud, the Republicans, right-wingers, got into the computer systems and posted sensitive information to the public. They broke in to the voting systems. They did it. And so Republicans, aha, you see, our election systems can be compromised. How do you know? Well, we compromised it. Oh, congratulations, you just committed a federal crime. Wonderful. Now, I know. And again, they're the ones who committed crime. They didn't prove that the 2020 election was hacked or influenced in any way. So, oops. It might be a big whoopsie. There you go. Now, the FBI had questioned Lindell about Peters, the Mesa County clerk in Colorado, who was indicted in 2022 over accusations that she improperly permitted someone to copy access passwords and other files from a secure voting system and post them online, exposing the machines to hackers. So now, the DOJ's Justice Manual noted that a subject of an investigation is an individual whose conduct is within the scope of the grand jury's investigation, meaning that MyPillow is not a target. They're just like, hey, your phone might have information related to this crime. We need to look at it. They're not doing lawfare. They're doing an investigation to see whether or not you've got anything on your phone. That is a problem. That is related to this reveal of sensitive information. That's it. It sucks for you, Lindell, but what are you going to do? As the appellate court that denied Lindell had said, quote, his irritation as to where and how the government took possession of his cell phone does not give rise to a constitutional claim. You could be sad about it. You could complain about it. That doesn't mean your rights were violated. Bad day for you. Look, he went through due process. They got a warrant for this. And they believe that it has information on there that's relevant to a federal investigation. I don't see anything wrong with this. It is what it is. Now, that said, the SCOTUS has effectively left that decision in place, meaning that Lindell is what, 0 for 5? I don't remember how many times he said, I'm going to run to the Supreme Court. I'm going to run to the Supreme Court. He does so, and every time he gets slapped down. It's actually kind of hilarious when you think about it. He's like some dopey kid running to his big brother, right? Solve my problems. And the big brother's like, not again. Come on, man. God damn it, Mike. Solve your own problems, all right? Stop running to me and expect me to save you. What's even funnier is that the court is not going to stop prosecutors from looking into Mike's link to this incident, to these election conspiracies. So he might actually get into trouble. So that makes me wonder, when is he going to learn that the Supreme Court is not going to save him? I mean, it's a legit question. Of course, my answer to that is probably never. Because people like Mike Lindell, they're never going to learn until they hit rock bottom.